Hello and welcome. Man, I just finished this, and it wasn't very good. This is like becoming a refrain, like, yeah. The book I just reviewed, nothing happened in it. It's just not any good. This one is just like, yeah, whatever. Alright, so what is the cost of freedom? Like that's a good, lofty, aspirational title. And this cover, this is cover A, it kind of does something for me. Like, I don't know. I just like the style. It's got this weird, very flat look to it, you know? But I like it anyway. I like it. I gotta just straight up admit it. Like, maybe it's because she's kind of reminding me of Samus Aran or something, but I dig it. And the art inside sometimes is pretty brilliant. Now, normally I go, man, I want like the places we're at to resemble, you know, the places where we're at, right? But it took me a little while when I was reading this page to realize what these backgrounds meant. This isn't really happening in physical reality. I mean, there's some like aspect of this, but this is her hacking their minds. Like, I didn't make that connection at first. Once I did, I really liked these pages. Now, for the artist, it's probably a lot easier to sprawl this block-esque Jackson Pollock inspired like gibberish back there rather than drawing a hallway like over here. So I understand it's probably sped up the process a little bit, but I kind of liked the way it worked. This, I thought, was particularly like inspired, using her dreads to separate out all the different things, like the leads on a circuit board. Like, I dug that. But oh, where am I at? Yeah, I guess this stuff up here is what I wanted to show. Now, keep in mind, she's the hero. She is the hero. She is mind controlling, rewriting people's DNA, turning them into copies of her. All right, now think back like to your comic book lore, right? Let's say you have a character who is an incredibly powerful mentalist. There's somebody that can mind control pretty much anybody on the planet, all right? You with me so far? If you know who I'm thinking about, you know I'm thinking about Charles Xavier. Now, I'm trying real hard to remember the number of times I've seen Charles Xavier mind control someone, like just get in their head and do it. I'm sure it's happened, probably in desperation. She's just doing it casually. Let me punch you in the face, and now you're me. And she's justifying it by, I just need to borrow them for a few minutes. And so she ransacks the place, gets information. Some guy that's running for Senate shows up to talk to her, and this is kind of where the art falls apart. And the story. Like, they're setting up some plot line where they're going to try to use her for some nefarious reason to do something. I just, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, they're telling her one thing and then they're telling each other something else, as if she somehow isn't still watching them because they got into a car that's full of electronics. You're fighting, you're like trying to get one over on somebody who can literally monitor everything that's going on if there's electronics nearby. So there's a political race between some dude and the fat dude here. And the one dude is like, oh, this fat dude, he really hates psiots. And before that, he's an evil Republican, basically. That's what's going on. Look at this art. Look how bad this is. I gave previous issues of this series like some serious like heck for the art. But just look at this. This doesn't look like it belongs in a superhero comic. Not remotely. This looks like it belongs in some independent book. Like, if I picked up. Fine. And when I say independent, I don't mean like an independent with a brand name. Gosh. Here. Like, this is the full power of modern Valiant comics, okay? This is what they can do. This is like the best that they have to offer. Let me just flip open. Here is a randomly chosen independent comic book. Not only do you get this sweet, styled Timothy Lim cover, but look at this art inside. These people have less money than Valiant. And they can afford this, like, S+ tier artist, and Valiant can afford, like, the guy who I can't even explain it. It's just not any good. Whether I'm talking like the coloring back here or the line work or any of that stuff, it doesn't work for me at all. The only redeeming stuff is, oh, hold on, no, there's one panel I have to show because she totally Shodans up in here. Yeah, look at you, hacker. Pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting, sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? That is the highlight of the book. There's nothing to this. This book takes a couple like political shots it doesn't need to take, and maybe that's okay because it's going to turn out that, you know, the guy that took the political shot against his opponent there, who was all like, you know, oh, this guy, he hates undocumented migrants or whatever, aka people who are in the country illegally and have avoided, yeah, whatever. I'm not getting into that. Because that's drama that has nothing to do with comic books, but comic book writers like to drag that kind of thing out here. They like to drag it into their comics because it seems like so many of them are just trying to push a propaganda piece. And maybe that's why the art's not better in this. They realized they didn't need to art it up. Maybe this book exists for an entirely different purpose. I don't know. I didn't care for the art. The story seems like it might be interesting, but it's all set up. It is 100% all set up for the next story arc. And it really could have been condensed down to 4 pages, you know? Like, you gotta give me something to chew on here. You gotta give me something toothsome to look at. Instead, we get a whole lot of nothing. You know what? This is apparently like the day. We're gonna do some ultimate disrespect here. I got a bag. God, I gotta find something better to read today. I absolutely do gotta find something better to read. Something I don't want to bag immediately because I'm never going to look at it again. There we go. You're going in the bag. And Livewire number 9, you're probably never ever coming back out of this bag. This was $3.99, essentially wasted. Now, granted, unlike Alien Rescue or whatever it's called, this took a little bit longer to read. There was some meat to the bones here, but it's still kind of a waste. I'll see you all next time. You have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Till then, bye-bye.